Hey guys, it was Nurses Week this week, and so in honor of Nurses Week, I thought I would share my NCLEX story and how it happened for me. I graduated December of last year from nursing school. I checked my email in January. I saw that I had received my ATT number, and that's the number that you need to schedule when you want to take your exam. I was kind of shocked when I first saw my ATT number, so I looked through the dates and I decided to take the exam on February 20, which was the day before my grandfather's birthday, and I figured we would have like this double celebration of me having taken NCLEX and his birthday. It was enough time. It was like a month. I had planned my study schedule. Another thing that was happening for me was that I started working as a graduate nurse. I was working full-time and trying to study, which was pretty difficult. I would study and work at the same time. I used the Hearst Review and this system called PrepU, where it had like a bank of practice questions that you could go through, so I used those two things mainly. At the end of January, unfortunately, my grandfather passed away, so I was really devastated. We all were devastated. I was in no state to study, and it took me a while to realize that, you know what, I really need to reschedule my test date because I'm not going to be able to concentrate. I had originally planned to celebrate as well my grandfather's birthday the same time I was taking my exam, so I was in no state of being able to study. I changed my test date, which they say you can do if you have a really good excuse, like you're grieving, which I was really devastated. So the next date available was on March 17th. I was going to take my exam and then go to California because my best friend's boyfriend had been telling me about his plans of how he was going to propose to her. It was really great. I had a good time. It was still in the back of my mind that I hadn't taken boards yet. I came back, I was working, and then there was also this volleyball, basketball tournament that I kind of helped out in and played in. It was called Sports Fest, so there was that. And it was kind of like a lot of things piling up, and I was kind of figuring out how in the world am I going to do this. I felt like I had a lot of extracurricular activities going on, but at the same time I knew that I couldn't do this on my own, which leads me to what I did. Since I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this on my own, I prayed often, and I made sure I found time every day to pray and to let God know that I was going to trust Him whatever the outcome was, and that if I did fail, that I knew there was a lesson in it that He wanted me to learn. So it was really hard to give everything to God, but that's what I had to do because I was going through all these emotions. I mean, I had just lost my grandfather, and you don't really stop grieving after a month. I mean, even now, this happened in January, it is May now. I'm still grieving. I still remember things, and it makes me sad. I prayed a lot, and I just gave it all to God. A peace came over me, and I didn't even become nervous. The day before, I just relaxed. I decided to take my exam at 1:00 p.m. It allows me to sleep in a little bit. I had to drive about 45 minutes away to take my exam, so that also gave me time to kind of find the place where the exam was going to happen. On the day of the exam, I woke up, got ready, packed a lunch of peanut butter and banana and honey, which is my go-to meal whenever I need to take a big test in nursing school. And I prayed before I went there, I prayed when I got there, I prayed before I took the exam. I just made sure I was really connected with my Heavenly Father to give me peace, guidance, comfort. So it's also proven in studies that when you're really nervous, you forget and you tend to not do so great on exams. So I found that helped me a lot because I was really calm. I arrived, I got screened, got checked, made sure that I didn't have anything in my pockets. They made me empty my pockets, they made me roll up my sleeves. I brought like a light cardigan because you never know in testing centers if it gets too cold. And so I went and I took my test. After an hour, I think he took a break, and I took the break to go to the restroom, and I was really hungry, so I busted out my sandwich from my locker. Oh, they give you lockers. They seal up your cell phone in these plastic bags just to make sure you don't tamper with your cell phone while you're in the testing center and while you're taking the exam. So I got my food. I ate it really quickly because I had been told by some of my classmates that they felt like they were being rushed, especially when they actually got the whole 265 questions. So I didn't want to be rushed, but I was hungry, so I had to eat. So I ate really quickly and then went back in to take my test. It wasn't very long, like maybe 10-15 minutes later after I started taking my exam again, that the computer shut down. And the sad fact is I don't even remember how many questions it stopped in. I just know it was over 100 and there was an 8 in there, so it was either 108, 118, 128. I don't think it was 138 because it wasn't that much. It was somewhere in the 100s and I was like, oh, it's over. After it shut down, I raised my hand. I even saved the earbuds that I had that they gave me from the testing center. I just prayed a prayer of thanks that it was all over. It was over and I was so happy that it was over. I mean, there was a possibility that I would have to take it again, but at least I took it the first time. After my exam, I drove back home, but there's like an outlet on the way home, so I decided to stop by there and see what I could buy, kind of to de-stress myself. Oh, and I saw my friends Sean, Marie, and Dodge there, which was pretty cool because I wasn't expecting to see them, but to see some friends like after you took a really exhausting exam, it was fun. Afterwards, I didn't check online to see if I passed. You could do that check where if it pops up that it won't allow you to re-register to take the exam, it means you passed. I didn't even want to try that. I went home, I went to sleep, I went to work the next day as a graduate nurse. That's kind of why I didn't want to check, because if it did let me register and I had the possibility of having failed the exam, then I wouldn't be able to function at work. So after my shift at the hospital, I went home and my friend Kim was hosting like a girls' night. But before we went to the girls' night, I decided to check the pop-up and it wouldn't let me re-register, which was a good thing. A good pop-up came up and I was so happy, but I was like, no, I can't be too happy because these are not official results. And I texted people that took it and they were like, yes, that means you passed. But I was like, no, I can't say that I passed until I get official results. I went to the party, but my sister had already posted on Facebook that I passed, even though they weren't official results, which made me more nervous. I went to my friend Kim's party and we had a good time. I told them that I may have passed, maybe, but I didn't have an official result. They were like, oh, you got this, Amira, you know, being encouraging friends, because I have some pretty cool encouraging friends. The next day, I had to wait until 1 o'clock to get the official results. My brother Julius came down to visit and we went to the outlet again just to hang out. I was in the car. We were still at the outlets at 1 o'clock. I wasn't at a computer, but I was like, oh yeah, I have a smartphone. I can check on my smartphone, and I paid $7.50, I think. I'm not quite sure exactly how much to get the results, and it said pass, and I was so excited, but I didn't want to let it out because my siblings were in the car and I didn't want to freak out everyone. So I nonchalantly just said, hey guys, guess what? I passed! They were like, yeah, we knew, Jennifer posted it. I'm like, those were not official results. These are official results. I'm glad that it's over. I have been working now as a registered nurse for about 2 months, and it has been really rewarding and fulfilling. I'm so glad I got into this career. The easiest thing that I ever did was just to give it up to God and to pray and to just let Him take control of it. That's why I think I passed the first time. But I mean, if you didn't pass the first time and you're still trying, don't give up. Just keep going. Every time you fail, you learn something new. Do your best. This field is very rewarding. There's a lot of difference you could really make in people's lives. So that's my NCLEX story. I hope you guys got something from that. I hope I inspired you guys. Do your best.